Okay, let's talk about something wild. What if one artist could just take on the entire music industry from the inside and completely dismantle it? Well, that's pretty much the story of Nine Inch Nails. And this isn't just about some great songs. It's a playbook for how one person's absolute vision for creative control changed everything. Let's get into it.
And this quote from Trent Reznor, I mean, it just says it all, right? The whole point of the music was never to be easy or comfortable. It was a gut reaction, a really raw response to all the conflict he was dealing with, both personally and professionally. This was a sound that was literally forged in frustration.
So as we go through this, we're going to look at three huge themes. First, just the raw power of anger as creative fuel. Second, this relentless, almost obsessive pursuit of artistic independence. And third, the absolutely brilliant way he used technology, not just to make music, but to build a totally new way forward.
That's the real question here. This is a story about rebellion, yeah? But it's also about incredible strategy. It's a blueprint for creative freedom that honestly is more relevant today than ever.
All right, first things first, we have to get our heads around the idea that Nine Inch Nails, well, it wasn't really a band in the way we usually think of one. It was something else entirely. It was the singular vision of one person.
Yeah, this slide just lays it out perfectly. On one hand, you got your typical rock band. Everyone writes together, the drummer drums, the singer sings. But Trent Reznor, who was hugely inspired by artists like Prince, he just threw that whole model out the window. He created this industrial sovereign model. Total control, playing pretty much every single instrument, and treating the recording studio itself like it was the most important member of the band.
And the whole thing started in the most random place imaginable. Reznor was working as a janitor and an assistant engineer at Right Track Studios in Cleveland. The owner saw he had a spark and, incredibly, gave him free reign of the studio after hours. That studio became his laboratory. It was the incubator where the entire sound of Nine Inch Nails was born.
And you can see here, this was his arsenal. We're talking about a super early Macintosh Plus computer to arrange everything, an EMU Emax sampler that he basically tortured to get those now famous digital glitches and buzzing sounds, and of course, classic synths that became the foundation of that iconic sound. The key thing is, he wasn't just using the equipment, he was breaking it, pushing it to its absolute limits to find something totally new.
So he's got this incredible new sound, he gets a record deal, and you think that's the happy ending, right? Nope, not even close. That first victory turns into the biggest fight of his early career, a brutal, clandestine war with his label, TVT Records.
See, Pretty Hate Machine just blows up. It's a massive triple platinum hit that nobody saw coming. But the label, TVT, they don't get it. They just want him to make a copy, a more commercial synth-pop sequel. Reznor says no way. And that kicks off this legal stalemate, a cold war where he's blocked from releasing anything. So what does he do? He goes underground.
This is where it gets crazy. It's like something out of a spy movie. He starts recording in secret, in different hidden locations. He books studio time under fake band names like Stunt Popes so the label's lawyers can't find the tapes and confiscate them. He even intentionally sabotages his own mixes so they sound horrible on TV. And the music he made during this secret war, the Broken EP, was so ferocious and undeniable that it convinced a major label, Interscope Records, to swoop in and buy him out of his contract, finally setting him free.
And here's the ultimate irony. This furious, ugly record, born out of a nasty legal fight, not only wins a Grammy, but it becomes a huge commercial hit. It was proof that pure, unfiltered anger could actually sell records. A lot of them. Okay, so he's finally free from his label, but just as he breaks out, the whole music industry starts to fall apart in the 2000s. His solution this time? Just bypass the system entirely and connect directly with his fans.
To do this, he embraced something that was way ahead of its time, the alternate reality game, or ARG. Think of it like a story that doesn't happen on a screen but unfolds in the real world. It uses the internet, hidden clues, physical objects, even live events to pull you in. And remember, this was before social media was a big thing. It was mind-blowing.
And the Year Zero campaign was his masterpiece. It was music as a giant, interactive scavenger hunt. Fans were finding USB drives with new songs hidden in bathroom stalls at his concerts. They were analyzing audio files to find hidden images that led to secret websites. The whole thing felt so real, blurring the lines of fiction, and it all built up to a secret concert that was raided by actors dressed as a SWAT team. It was genius.
So after proving he could hook his fans in his totally new way, he tried another experiment. He released an entire album, The Slip, for free, $0. The result?
1.4 million downloads in the first month. He proved that the direct connection with his audience was worth more than a $14 CD. It was a complete rejection of the old industry model.
And this whole independent strategy, his no corporation, was just brilliant. Look at this. With Ghosts I through 4, he gave some of it away for free, but also sold a super deluxe $300 box set. They both sold like crazy. With The Slip, he went 100% free. And then, with Remix.9.com, he literally gave fans the building blocks of his songs, the multi-track stems, and invited them to create something new themselves.
So what do you do after you've conquered the music industry on your own terms twice? Well, for Reznor, the next act was a complete 180, a total reinvention. He moved into the world of film scoring.
And this is where his partnership with Atticus Ross really takes center stage. Ross would eventually become a full-time, official member of Nine Inch Nails, and together, they just redefined what a modern movie score could sound like. Their work was all about mood and texture, a complete departure from the big, orchestral scores that used to dominate Hollywood.
And get this, their very first score together for The Social Network, it won them an Oscar. Just like that, it sent shockwaves through the old guard of Hollywood composers.
And they didn't stop there. They immediately followed that up with more awards, including a Grammy for their next film with David Fincher. They weren't just dabbling, they were A-list composers overnight.
And then an Emmy for the score to HBO's Watchmen, an Oscar, a Grammy, a Golden Globe, an Emmy. You see the pattern? This wasn't a side hustle. This was a hostile takeover of a completely new creative world.
So, when you put it all together, what's the lasting impact of this incredible journey? Well, it's basically a step-by-step guide for any artist today trying to make their own way.
Really, the takeaway is this blueprint. It's all about seizing absolute control over your work, turning roadblocks and limitations into your biggest creative strengths, using new tech to go around the old gatekeepers, building a real direct connection with the people who support you, and maybe most importantly, never ever being afraid to blow everything up and reinvent yourself.
Which of course leaves us with one last big question. Reznor fought record labels, he pioneered digital distribution, but today artists are up against totally new challenges, right? Things like streaming algorithms and AI-generated art. So what does it really mean to be an industrial sovereign in this new landscape? What does that fight for creative control even look like now?